August 2022 for water signs. Let's just do this. Okay. Okay, so that's 8 of Wands, Queen of Diamonds, Queen of Wands, King of Diamonds, and that is, oh, I'm going to, wow, 3, okay, 2 Diamonds, 2 of Swords, 9 of Swords, and then Joker on this one, 5 of Cups. Okay, so we'll take it as, right, so the past would be blueprints of like success around projects, and then the underlying issues were to do with second house kind of activities, so things like earned income, cash flow, like and also family that kind of take it upon themselves to nurture you and feed you, but like just as sustenance kind of thing. So, and it basically it's around sustaining and maintaining and valuing things that have already like manifested before with the 2 diamonds, and the 2 of swords is about communication, so it's trying to figure out how to maintain your communication and your thoughts and your desires to create and to go out of yourself and possibly even come to union with great partnerships with others, and or possibly also even improve your working relationships, in terms of like getting a promotion, your peers at work, and trying to be seen as higher status so you can get rewarded better, and to stress around that. So this is the past. The present is you having too many projects, too many things that you're working on with the Queen of Wands, trying to take your attention, fighting for your attention. You're kind of doing this to upgrade yourself because it's the 14th one in that group of ones, and it basically shows this is like after you've figured out a way of systemizing and moving up your career, and what you've got a structure and a way of testing how well you're doing, and you're kind of the authority in what you're doing, but at the same time you're trying to find a better workflow that allows you to kind of top up your resources and kind of improve that way. So in order to do that, you're trying to find a way of upgrading, but you've got a lot of different things on your plate in order to try and get that done. On some level, you're very, very confident about this, and you're kind of looking at the overall kind of life as, well, I can kind of jump into this without too much caution. You have more kind of ability to just go out there and get stuff done. So in terms of the future, it's about, oh wait, sorry, this isn't a 13, this isn't a 14, this is 13. So this is, yeah, it is topping up resources as a whole, what your minimal goal is, but then and you have systemized everything. Yeah, so and with this one, this is a 14, and this is 14 set, it's the King of Diamonds, and so it's a 14th card in this diamond set, and it allows you to be able to like be systematic. It's very much Capricornian. It allows you to be able to be practical, be the greatest of all time. That's like your goal about this. So whatever you're trying to do, you're trying to be a perfectionist in that way, but you're taking a very like strategic way, almost like trying to be as good as like on a corporate level kind of good, rather than just like a hobbyist kind of good, if that makes sense. you have like where you have messed up or not done as well with the five of cups, sorry. You are looking to upgrade yourself, but you're focusing on what you have rather than what you don't have. Just so that you're emotionally in the right place about things, you're psychologically in the right place, and you're kind of doing that to kind of make sure you've got the right focus, basically. So overall, it's positive. You are trying to figure out like how to focus on just like minimizing how many things you've got to do, if that makes sense right now. But like with the Eight of Wands here, you're kind of throwing yourself into the thing. So I'd say, but there's a lot of upgrading. So between the 5 here and the 14 here, which adds up to a 5, you're trying to really upgrade. And you are, in the past, you've also been looking to, like, it's upgrade your skill level so that you can get a better, whether it's a job or a monetary thing, if that makes sense, like some way of monetizing something. That's kind of what you're trying to do more in this area of your life. There's a mixed bag of work and love, but it's more focused on work than love or like relationships, if that makes sense. Yeah, it really it is based on like different things for different individuals, basically. So you're just gonna have to like read some more stuff. I'm just gonna get some astro dice. Okay, so we got Sagittarius, we have 11th house, which is pretty on the spot, and then the Sun. So this is very much like, it's both career and romance, so you're more in the mood for play, basically, and also doing more with your career, so that you're able to kind of enjoy it. You're kind of trying to take an enjoyment aspect to your work. You've got very long term goals. These are goals you've had for a very long time. So whether it's 11 months or 11 years, even with the 11 here, it's been quite a long time. There's also a cycle of 5 as well that keeps coming up because of the Sun being related to Leo. And yeah, it is really a lot of it's to do with upgrading, because even Sag is to do with studying, education, long-term research, long-term putting your head down on books, and also broadcasting for some of you. So some of you, it's actually launching something that you're going to broadcast either online, or it could be creating courses and being a teacher yourself, or an instructor or something like that. So this is quite an interesting period in that way. Yeah, so that's the first group. Yeah, and then I'm going to do the second group. Okay, so this is for you, number 2 pile, and I'm just shuffling. Alright, so I'm going to do a 6 card spread, and then I'm going to get some astro dice for you guys. Okay, this is for August 2022. I'm just going to see what comes up for you. Alright, so the first card you've got is 7 of Swords, 10 of Swords, and 9 of Wands. Right, you've got both the 6 of Swords and the Page of Swords. Yeah, because this is, well, for me, I'm seeing this as a page anyway. And then the King of Diamonds and the 9 of Diamonds. These ones are the basic past, present, future. These are the root causes of these underlying issues, basically. So we've got number wise, we've got 2 9s, and that's about as much similarities as we've got roughly. I can basically go into the past, which is you've basically been moving very very quickly about things, and things have been very hidden, in terms of people kind of keeping things hidden from you, trying to get away with certain kind of. It's like it's almost like taking away bits of information from you. This is usually swords are usually information, and 7 swords is usually someone holding swords away or taking your swords away, taking away your thoughts or information from you. So that it's almost like that person's been trying to figure out your thoughts and being trying to be strategic about how they they play around with it to see how it works in terms of appearances, and so it feels like that's been playing around in your mind more. You are moving forward from the situation, so it's you've been problem solving around it, because the 6s are more to do with like sorting and putting things in the right category. Going through the issues and going, well, what do I need to do step by step, like in terms of creating a path for myself that's different, so I don't repeat the same past mistakes. So you gathered enough information to know, well, I remember hearing this conversation there, and this means this, so I can only assume this, so I have to adapt to get to a better solution. Yeah, so with the Page of Swords, you're looking at what was previously the person was aloof or not, where they weren't saying what they were supposed to be, like enlightening you on what you expect, what kind of like your assumptions you're going over to say, to see where they were too aloof, if that makes sense. And that's how you're sorting things in your mind as to what really meant what, if that makes sense, when you're translating the facts, because the 6s are more like Mercury, the facts and information. So, right, and so with the present right now, you're almost at the end of this challenge. You're kind of finding a way of systemizing and knowing how to test the information and the insights you've got, and to be an authority in your life and to put boundaries around things so that people don't go further than they need to in your life. That because you've gone through all the challenges you can with them. You're still in a situation where this is almost like the last bit of the hurdle, but you are kind of, like Capricorn does represent 10 as well. You're trying to find a way of being practical about it, especially surrounding stuff that's already manifested. So how do you test what's already happened and then say, well, what it is, what isn't, and what, so that you can stand on solid ground and that you can improve yourself. But that, even though it might feel like a challenge now, you'll be able to use that to upgrade what's going on, and kind of give you a way of being resourceful in this kind of situation. Okay. Okay, so the next bit is Nine of Wands. So you'll be putting up boundaries. You're basically going as far as you can with the information that you've gotten. Figure out like where you need to put boundaries, but also because you've got a lot that you want to be doing, and it's not like you want it, not just that you want to be doing it, but you will be doing. You're really pushing forward. You're in that kind of, I'm gonna go out there and do my thing kind of mode. So if you're following your heart and your dreams around it, and you're not going to really be pulled back, so you're putting up the boundaries using everything that you've got here in terms of what you've tested, to make sure that you are reading the information right, and creating the right barriers that you need to be creating. Generally, like, it's a positive outcome in the sense of you're heading right towards the dream, like right directly towards you, in a better mode anyway, because you've gone as far as you've needed in terms of researching what projects you want to do, and also you've been able to manifest everything you've needed to up until now. You're quite abundant in that you've got what you need when you need it to do what you need to do when you need it. So you're going right for it, and you'll feel like not a lady of leisure, but it's that kind of, you can enjoy what you're doing whilst you're doing it phase kind of thing. So it's quite, you will be able to find a way of making it work for you and feeling abundant. You know, the material side of it, you're getting the most out of what you have, and you'll be adding to that, if that makes sense. You'll be expanding your life on the material front, and especially with regards to your projects. But this is after having systemized everything in terms of how you're going to deal with these people and put the right boundaries between you and them, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't worry too much, but I do feel like you will get through this next phase, and just have faith, because the more that you kind of look within you, the bigger that you and the you'll feel, and the more you'll be able to trust, and have faith, and then that will allow you to work with the consequences and the opportunities very quickly. Things will move quickly, so I wouldn't worry. Okay, so yeah, that's cool. And then I'm just gonna get you some dice, astro dice. Right, so you've got Libra, you've got ninth house, and you have Saturn. Right, so yes, like I said, Saturn is like represents 10 and 11. So you've got the 10 here, 11 is a page here. So it's yeah, so it's basically about systemizing. Capricorn can be seen as 10 as well sometimes. So you can, continue with that systemizing, structuring, be the authority figure so that other people don't take control or authority over from you. And then, don't worry about using things that have been old in order to get what you need, especially things that have been considered standard or conventional to get what you need, because it does actually help you in terms of doing things the way you need them to be done. With Libra, you are looking for a cerebral way of understanding a situation, so it's very logic based. It's very much like putting things together that have been like opposites, basically, like a compare and contrast kind of thing. And this is what this is about. What do you need to be able to do, especially when it comes to relationships, one-on-one relationships of any sort. So friendships, business partnerships, or just long-term relationships. Yeah, and then you've got the ninth house, which is, you've got two nines here, so that's really to do with like the abundance and the optimism of the Jupiter and Sag. This is it. Nine is representing, can also represent Sagittarius, the ninth sign. But yeah, you'll be able to do a lot with that, and just that expansive, positive, full of faith, trusting kind of energy that comes from looking within and looking at your inner light, especially when you're researching stuff that you actually love, that in terms of long-term research, stuff that you've been looking at for a long time. Anything with nine, so in terms of 9 months, 9 years. So yeah, that would be quite important for you. So yes, that's your reading. Cool. Group number 2. Group number 3. Okay, hi. So this is your August 2022 readings for the water signs. Yeah, I'm just doing some cards for you, and then I'm going to get some astro dice. Okay. Okay. Right. So these are the past, present, future. The past is a Page of Swords, present is the Five of Cups and Page of Cups, and the future is the Eight of Wands reversed. These two are reversed. and so is this one. These are going to be the underlying cards. That one's the King of Cups for the past, Two of Cups for the present, and that's also reversed, and Queen of Swords reversed. Okay, so in the way I read them is that the reverse just means the energy is there, it's just not fully manifested, or if it is manifested, it's kind of blocking or overdoing something, if that makes sense. So you might feel a little bit out of whack with it, but it doesn't mean it's a bad thing at all. So in the past, you felt like there's a lot of aloofness around somebody. It feels like it's been somebody that you've been trying to create a relationship with of some sort, like in terms of like someone who tries to bring people together in a family kind of way. Like, you know, even if it's in the workplace, they try and make sure that everyone feels like it's a family orientated kind of environment. They instigate relationships a lot. That's the underlying issue. And then with the, you know, like the main issue, it's really to do with, like, there's a lot of information that hasn't been shown to you in terms of where the long term trajectory was of that person and what they wanted, their desires, and their kind of how they wanted to, how they wanted other people to shift for them so that they could get what they wanted long term, and they were willing to connect with you one on one to do that, but then they're also willing to like pass on information and just gather loads of information as well, um, around you. Now, that has caused you some conflict. It feels like there's a lack of trust basically there, which you're going to try and figure out over the next few weeks specifically, but it'll take a couple of months for things to kind of settle down. Yeah, you will kind of basically make it into your favor. It's just you're you're trying to figure out how to place everything that's been going on, and whether it's worth it in your time, because you've got a lot that you want to get done, but it feels like it's a block that doesn't need to be there really. So yeah, and so basically there's a lot of Five of Cups, which is like regret about, you know, how things have gone down, and feeling like you've lost some stuff, but in terms of your relationship, it's not working the way you want it to. You feel disappointed, really, basically. Sorry about that. And yeah, you feel like what you used to think about, like how what that person meant to you, is kind of confusing you, and you feel like you've been manipulated, basically. Um, so you're choosing not to relate to this person, and you don't feel like this person's like-minded with you anymore. So you really want to kind of step away from them as much as possible, but it's kind of complicated. Basically, you can't just walk away very quickly. It's going slower than you want it to go, because in the future card you've got the Eight of Wands, so you want to just throw yourself in another direction, but you can't. You almost like being told computer says no, because that's the Queen of Swords. It's like you're not doing things officially the way you've been told is it should be done by people around you, by a lot of different people within your group, if that makes sense. Whether it's to do with work or within your family, it's like the extended family and everyone else in the family, even people that you don't really speak to, but they have some sort of ability to influence the situation, even if it's not you directly, you don't speak to them. So this is getting complicated, and you do want to find a way around it. I would say just have patience. This stuff is getting solved, but it's just requires you stepping around certain things in order to get it done. With you, I'm just gonna do a couple of these because it feels like you want to figure out how to shift the energy. So I'll do one for the past, present, and future. and then that way. So I'll just put it here. So the past comes across as Leo, and third house, yeah, and Pluto. So this is basically to do with betrayal, someone, possibly cousins, aunties and uncles, or someone like neighbors, because this is all the things third house represent. Or even if you're an admin or that kind of thing, or self-employed, it's anyone around those areas. This is about, this could also for some reason also have something to do with your romance life, and or say for example, even so all the gossiping and all the bitchiness, the information that is being taken from you with around, like, you know these close neighbors or family or whatever, is around your romantic life, or because Leo also represents creativity, your creative ventures, speculative ventures. It could also be trading or investment, short-term trading. So it feels like the information that was gathered and people are being aloof around is around this. Yeah, and because it's almost like with Pluto, because you also happen to be, you're being bullied basically by people who are manipulating you. It's like they're trying to control and manipulate the information around you and putting peer pressure so that what your desires are being bypassed, and then they can try and overwhelm you basically. Um, so let me just go into the present. Okay, present is the 12th house, so you are letting go of people. Also Pisces, which is also a 12, and then Uranus, perfect. Okay, so what you're trying to do is let go of anything unnecessary that is holding you back so that you can make way for a new beginning. So the 12th, it represents that. Pisces usually ghosts, so that's usually like avoiding people, basically. So yeah, that's your current approach, is just avoiding. It's kind of necessary for you in order to be able to have this breakthrough beginning that you're trying to have with the Uranus. You kind of know that some part of you on a high level, like the higher mind, has recognized that you have these underlying feelings, that you thoughts that you want to be able to get through, and in terms of how you've seen it, your intuition would have been able to tell you, but it's more your like higher mind rather than just feelings. It's like it's asking you to logically see through stuff and go, well, you need to break through, rebel, because you're being constricted a lot by the controlling stuff in the past, basically. So this is quite useful for you to adapt and change and figure out what you want, but you're doing this in isolation by yourself because it's all Pisces and 12th house. So, but this is necessary for you to separate from that person, basically. So, okay, just gonna do the future, and this one, it says 2, and also Leo and Neptune. Okay, so you do have people trying to make, so 2 also represents like family, but it's the kind of family that would have fed you. So it would have been like people who you've actually had meals with on a regular basis, who tried to, at some point, if that makes sense, rather than just all family. And Leo, so these would be family members involved around your love life or romantic life, or your, and because I said Leo is also representative of trading, and like anything to do with a speculative investment, anything where you have to throw your ideas at something and see what sticks. That's Leo. So it's like family's opinions on that. And and then Neptune is like Pisces in the sense of it's all illusions, delusions, and things that people are either trying to manipulate you into, or you can use in your favor. So it could even be something creative. So you might be able to get something creative out of this. because it's slow to come about in terms of the change. But even though things around you are slow to move because you can't move as quickly as you want in the way that you want just yet, because you're getting the kind of like group pushing back against that, and you don't necessarily know what to do just yet. Putting things in and doing things creatively or in isolation is really going to help you, and that will also will help you to figure out your cash flow situation and possibly help you find an extra form of ways of monetizing things. But yeah, I would say you're still having fun. You're just doing your own thing in your own time though, but you're doing it privately. So don't worry about like not being able to have fun and enjoy it. You're still being able to do things on your own. So it's just, even though things are moving slower than you want, you are still moving in the right direction of your projects and your work and your career as well. So that there's something positive to look forward to, even if you're not able to move things forward the way you want to just yet. Okay? So yeah. Cool, that's it. Okay. So this is water signs 4, group 4. And okay, so I'm just shuffling cards for August 2022. Yeah, I'm just going to give out some cards and then do some astro dice readings for you guys, okay? Okay. So it's King of Swords past, 8 of Swords present, okay, and Page of Pentacles future. So these are going to be the underlying issues, which is the 8 of Cups, 2 of Wands for the present, and then 10 of Diamonds reverse for the present, no, for the future. Okay, so what we're going to do, so the King of Swords, basically, it's the 14th card of the Swords set. This is you trying to be fair about something in the past. You kind of, it also represents Libra, so it kind of shows you that you've been trying to be fair about everything, where you've been disappointed in the past. This, I feel like you've been trying to upgrade, especially around material desires, and in terms of like, you know, things that you've desired for partnerships, relationships, and long-term career goals, and moving up on that level. And then, and also, I feel like where you've been disappointed, you will be finding a way forward with that. It's just you're trying to be fair and balanced and very in your thoughts about it, so that you make sure that it's very clear cut why you're disappointed, why you're, you know, so that it doesn't really mess with anything in terms of you being too biased in the ways forward. At the moment, you are very much aware of your previous restrictions. You're trying to make sure that you're not pushed back, but at the same time, you can step out of this. It's just that you are too much in your thoughts about it. You kind of want the perfect way where you never get hurt, but there's some part of this is going to be uncomfortable, so don't worry about the discomfort. You can find a way around this. You're also looking for a blueprint to success about how to get your desires that way. At the moment, you've got like the right underlying issues around this. Is you've got the right stuff to make your projects work for you. It's just and you've been able to find things that are complementary, that, or like paraphernalia, or some things that are complementary to your project. You've got that. You are, yeah, you just need to step forward into that. So you've got this to feel good about. You just need to have courage around that, and it's almost like to tame the part of you that is in fight or flight mode, basically. So yeah, and I would say with the Page of Diamonds, it's like you're taking the next step this month to be able to then go, well, okay, if I just make sure that everything is kind of uniquely me, something that I really want to do, I have a lot of desire around, you'll find a lot of solutions that are found online, or that you use a network of a lot of people in order to be able to get done, that will simplify your workload. So this is stuff that's already been created. You don't have to like create it yourself, and that will help you to move things forward. So even though you will feel like you are faking it till you make it, basically, with the Ten of Diamonds, you do have everything you need. Just and especially in terms of like you've created the right system, and you've been systematic about how you get the things that you want in terms of your practical goals, and you can base your knowledge on things that you've already created before that have made this project work, if that makes sense. So whether it's a project or your career, feels like that bit's sorted. Yeah, I feel like this is more work and material life rather than your love life or anything like that, if that makes sense. So the focus on this month is that. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get you some dice. Okay. Okay, so you've got the Sun. You have Capricorn. I never know how to show this. And then you've got Libra. No, you've got sorry, the first house. So this means you are very focused on what's going right now in your life. You are very much in the present, in the moment. So everything is about creating things that are suitable for you right now, just as you are. You're not trying to be creating plans for like a future you that would be able to do other things. You're making stuff for you as you are right now, with everything you've got right now. You're capable of doing it, kind of thing. And that suits your physical body and like how much energy you have. You're generating a lot of energy in order to do this, but it's all very organic in what's going on right now. It's about things where you've been systematic about your life and your career as well. It's about trying to be the best you can be, kind of thing. Um, yeah, and but at the same time, still trying to have fun, and it boosting your ego and enjoying it, having playful fun with it, if that makes sense. And shining, and you'll be taking center stage, basically. So this isn't a bad period. It's just you do have a lot of, it's not even fear, it's just you kind of wanting to have it the best way possible. You want the journey to be as great as the end, if that makes sense. And you don't have to have a perfect journey. You can just keep going until it works, if that makes sense. And you are almost there, so enjoy it. Don't worry too much about not having like the perfect way to go about it. It's just sometimes you do have to get a little bit messy in order to get what you want. And things won't necessarily always feel comfortable, always take everything in your stride. So don't worry about that. You will enjoy this month. So yeah, enjoy. Right. Okay. So this is for group 5. of the water signs. This is for August 2022. I'm just going to give you 6 cards about the past, present, and future, and then we're going to do some astro dice for you guys, okay? Right. Okay. So the first one is 8 of Cups. Second one is 2 of Diamonds. And the third is Ace of Swords. So this is the past, present, and future. And then this is past is Page of Diamonds. Present is 10 of Wands. And then the future is 9 of Cups. So, okay, so where you have felt in the past that you were disconnected and discontent, you felt like you needed to move on, you were finding it hard to achieve what you wanted, so your long-term goals, there was a block towards it, even though you had the stuff that you needed to get stuff started. It was a struggle to get that to happen. So it feels like now you're struggling with your time and energy in terms of work more than anything else. You have kind of been overloaded. You're having to set boundaries of like, I can't do this, but it's almost like you've had to be over, had like things on balance in order for you to set boundaries, basically. And that's the 10 of Wands, is the boundaries around your projects. This just means you have a lot of work. It doesn't mean you will have issues around that at all. It just feels like you do need to set the right parameters with people, be an authority figure in your position, if that makes sense. It doesn't, even if you're not the top of the totem pole in terms of your work, you will need to show people that you are in charge of your own life and your time and your energy. So you have to be systematic about what you want, how you spend your time, and how you deal with what's already been manifested, what's already been made a reality, basically. Okay, so where you will be heading towards is having kind of a new beginning in your desires for what you want, where you're going with things, and even very long-term goals that are to do with a raise later on. But this is like way later on, within like a year or something. You will actually feel better and more content during this phase. That's why you feel like you can have that kind of position and a raise. But it does feel like it's after you've created these boundaries. First, everything feels like it's overloading you right now in the present. That's why there's a lot of stress. You feel like, crap is always hitting the fan, if that makes sense. So you just feel like you need to be systematic in order to be able to handle everything. But once you have done that, it will give you more freedom to think about new beginnings in what you desire and how to get that. And that will give you optimism and a feeling of like expanding and being able to hit new goals, and that feeling of optimism. Okay? Yeah, and let me just do some dice for each past, present, future. Okay? So the past gets Uranus, 11th house, and Aries. Right. Okay, so this is very much about like I said, going for your long-term goals, and you will have a lot of things happen. The things that have happened have been very sudden. That's where you felt discontent, because it didn't work out the way you wanted it to, and you felt like you could have got better, if that makes sense. You just didn't have the right blueprint to success, even though you had manifested some of the things you need for your long-term goals. Now it's about being able to have what you need when you need it, and making everything suited to who you are, for that, because it feels like in that part you didn't. Okay. Okay, so I will do a present one. So there's Jupiter, so you do have a lot of positivity and Scorpio, and 12th house. So you are trying not to be, basically you're having to figure out what you need to let go of, and adapt, so that you are able to have enough energy to do what you need to do. You're making it, the 2 in the 12th here just shows you what you are trying to figure out, whether something is a value add or it's taking away from your life, and prioritizing. So so that you have more energy, which is the 1 in the 12. Yeah, with Scorpio, you're trying to have stamina to do the job that you want to do, but you've been struggling. You're trying to find the blueprint of success for this. Trying to make sure that other people aren't using, manipulating you so that you're distracted from your own goals and what you can do, basically, so that you're always in control of your time and energy. But generally, you're in a positive growth phase of your life and your career. So you will have optimism. You will be very happy about what you're doing in general. I just feel like you're just trying to set boundaries. You've got a lot more responsibility on, because Jupiter also expands the opportunities. And the last one, future. We've got K2, which is the South Node, and Libra. Okay, and then the 2nd house. So it does feel like you're not as interested in one-on-one relationships at the moment, or being able to work on that. You're just focusing more on other elements, or the only ones you're willing to work on are ones that meet your highest good. Anything else you just don't settle for, basically, at this point. It's the same with family and earning income and stuff like that. You're trying to make sure this suits your highest good. If you don't feel like it does, then you're kind of, your decisions in the future will be like, well, that doesn't serve my highest good, so I can't be bothered with it. And that's causing me too much hassle. So you're all about optimism and trying to feel like you've got a content life, and that's where your new thoughts will be leading you towards, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is actually a positive reading in terms of where it's going. Okay, so enjoy, and hopefully yeah, feel free to check out my other readings and stuff. Okay, hold on. So yeah, for the other signs, if you've got any sun, moon, or risings in another sign, yeah, so we've got similar ones for Aries, and for fire signs and earth signs and air signs. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay. So hi guys. I'm just gonna put 5 cards here for you, and you can choose whichever one you want, and these will then dictate which ones you will choose from, and which ones you'll get a reading about these areas of your life. Okay. Um, so pile 1 is this one, pile 2 is this one, pile 3 is this, pile 4, and then pile 5. Okay. And then once you picked which one you want, go to the link at the bottom in the comment section, and then we'll go into further detail about your specific ones. Okay.